Hi, this is Sean. Welcome to Guitar Reference Guide. Super excited about today's lesson. I'm going to be taking you through the classic Midnight Blue by the great Kenny Burrell. A couple of quick things before we dive into lesson. This is jazz blues, but it doesn't follow your standard 12-bar form. You have an 8-bar intro, 16-bar form with both an A section and a B section. It's a medium swing feel, moving at about 144 beats per minute. It's in the key of F minor with very few modulations, so this is perfect for someone that's just getting into jazz or someone that's been playing a while that wants to learn a great tune. I've created a PDF for this lesson. It's going to cover the head and the first two choruses of the solo. In addition to that, PDF is going to have all the scales, chords, etc. And I'm going to have a harmonic break. I'm going to do a harmonic breakdown in the lesson of his solo, as well as show you some soloing strategies. So when you're improvising, you have some other tools you can use to play through the tune. I've also created a backing track for the song, and I've created a video of the notation, scrolling notation, take you through the whole tune, and I think you'll find that to be very helpful as well. If you like what you see in this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, etc. We have a lot to do, so let's dig in, and thanks so much for your support, really appreciate it, and let's do it. Okay, the way we're going to do this is I'm going to play with the metronome at 100 beats per minute, bringing the tempo down a little bit to make it a little bit easier to follow. You're going to have the scrolling notation, and then I'm going to discuss what we do. We're going to move it pretty quickly section by section. So we're going to start with the vamp. Here we go at 100 beats per minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now for the vamp. As you can see, we just have 3 triads. We have an F minor triad, G minor triad, A flat major triad, and then we're back to G minor triad. This goes for a total of 8 bars, 4 bars, and then those 4 bars repeat. I'm basically using a pick to grab the D string, middle finger and ring finger to grab the G and the B, grabbing them all at the same time. Timing is going to be 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and that just repeats. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 chord, 1, 2 chord, 3 chord, back to the 2 chord, and that is the vamp. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, the A section. The A section is going to be based on the F blues scale, which is basically a minor pentatonic scale with a flat 5. Sounds something like this. Okay, the first phrase of the A section. I'm sliding into my 1, playing my minor third, back to my 1, Now I'm going to my 4, sliding into my 4, sliding back to my 4, sliding into the flat 5, back to my 4, pulling off to my minor third, my 1, flat 7, back to my 1. Now, as you can tell, I'm getting in and out of that flat 5. So generally, when you use the flat 5, you want to use it as a passing tone, or you want to get in and out really quick. One more time. Now I'm going to hit the C7 sharp 9 chord. So here I'm playing my my major third. There's my flat 7. There's my sharp 9. And there's my 5. Phrase 2 is going to go like this. Very similar. So phrase 2, we're going 1, minor third, sliding to the 5th, flat 7 to the 1, back to our lick that we heard over phrase 1, and then back into the C7 sharp 9. The whole thing. And that repeats twice. The B section. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this comes in on the end of the 3. So let's talk real quick about the progression. We basically have 2, 5, 1, 4, dominant, 4 minor, minor third minor, 5, it's going to be your dominant 7 sharp, sharp 9, sharp 5. Okay, so I start on the and of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so you got to grab that chord real fast. So this is my G minor 7 flat 5 sharp 5. You could also look at it as just being an E flat 9 chord. So as you can see from the diagram, that's what I'm playing. Got to get my pinky in there to get both of those there. Now on the same thing on the and, I come in on the C sharp to the D sharp. Now I'm playing a C9. I'm playing a C7 with a sharp 5 and a flat 9. Now I'm going to play same rhythm here. C, C sharp, standard F minor 7. Pinky comes down here to the root note of the chord, which is melody. Now here I'm playing my B flat 7 chord, implied B flat 9 chord. So here, hitting that. Now right after that, now I'm going into my B flat minor 9. Those pickup notes again. To the A flat minor 9. C7 sharp 9 sharp 5. And that basically gives us our B section. Okay, so this is the first chorus of the solo. This is the first one. I'm going to play it, and then we'll go through it, break it down. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is really cool because what he's doing is he's starting almost all of his phrases with the pentatonic scale, but then he's still holding down the rhythm and still vamping, and that's a pretty tricky thing to do because he always knows where he is in the vamp. So phrase number 1 is going to sound something like this. This is almost all minor pentatonic. But then here we have to grab those notes, those chords again, I mean. So we have 1. And he strikes the G minor to the A flat. Phrase number 2, once again, now we have the blues scale again with the flat 5. So as you can see, once again, basic pentatonic scale with your flat 5, then jumping back into the vamp. So we have, gotta grab them real quick. Next phrase, we're going to move up to this position, so we're going from the 11th fret to the 13th fret on the B string, E flat, 11th fret, 13th fret, 11th fret. Now we do a slight bend. I'm bending up on the 13th fret of the G string. Then I have to get back out of dodge, get back here. So that phrase would be. And that would be phrase number 3, phrase number 4. So, phrase number 4, once again, we're just going up the pentatonic scale, but we're throwing a triplet in there. So we start with the A flat, and then we do the triplet. Once again, the pentatonic scale, you can see it. But then the tricky thing is getting into those chords. Now we jump into the B section where we have a little bit more tricky. It's a little harmonically, it's a little more sophisticated, doing the 2/5. So he jumps into that from the F minor pentatonic scale. Now here, no, he's playing off of this E flat note, okay, which would be the sharp 5 of G minor 7 flat 5. And then right after that, he goes into the, you'll hear it. So that's just your standard F minor scale. Now it goes over the C9 chord, or the C7 chord, minor third to major third, flat 9, major 7 to the 1. This is basically an enclosure over the C, so you can hear that he's following the changes. And that's over the C. Now the next part here, we're sliding. Now we're going to be coming back into the F minor. Now over this section of the tune, he's really following the chords. So as soon as he finishes with the C, both of those notes are still over the C. And then we're back on the F minor. And then the next phrase would be over the B minor 7 we're going to play. So almost all those notes are over the B flat minor 7. So it starts with we're basically coming in 5th, root, and then we're just cycling through the standard F minor scale, but we're throwing in this chromatic note, which would be our D. And then this is where it's going to end up changing. It's going to be going into the D flat 9 chord. So you can hear that this is all coming out of the Mixolydian scale. So the phrase right before that, basically just staying in key here, adding the chromatic note to bring us into the D flat, to the D flat 9 chord. And then here's another enclosure to the C. And then we have our sharp 5 to flat 7. And then we're back into our F minor. and that will be the first chorus. So as you can tell, most of it is playing using your standard F minor scale, but then every once in a while throwing in a scale that's going to imply the other chords. Most notably over the first chord, over the D flat, the Mixolydian scale, and then the enclosures that you can hear when he goes to the C. Other than that, pretty much stays there. You could get away with just playing minor scales through the whole thing, and it will work, but when it gets to the D flat, it's a little dicey. Then we're back to the C7, and that would be the first chorus. Second chorus, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so moving into the second chorus of the solo, we just start with the same vamp. Then we have this lick. This lick is actually the same lick that one of the same licks we used over chorus 1. So he recycles this one. Probably remember that from the first chorus. Now this is also very similar to some of the licks that he did in 1, but he changes it up at the end a little bit. Once again, your flat 5, same scale. Now he ends on the C, so that doesn't give us time to get to the F. We just go to G minor to A flat. Now we have a real fast pentatonic lick. Okay, so this line is going to be almost all triplets. Once again, the pentatonic scale, just cycling the pentatonic scale, ending on the F. Now we go into the 2-5 section. And then once again, he starts on that E flat. Now, over the C, here we're playing essentially an altered dominant C scale, which works really great, especially when you have an altered chord like this, where you have a sharp 5 and a flat 9. Covers all of them. So then right after that we have and then we come into the C minor arpeggio after the altered dominant. Slide back to my A flat, then I come up to my C minor triad, so it's real quick. Now this is F melodic minor, and that's going over the F chord, which is beautiful. And then I'm sliding essentially into the 9 of an F minor, back to the 1, back to the 5. Now it's on the B flat minor chord, and here I'm just playing essentially a B flat minor Dorian scale with this lick. It's coming out of your B flat Dorian scale, and that's implying this B flat minor, and this will be for 2 measures. And then now when we kick into the next part, it's going to get a little trickier. Okay, so coming out of the B flat Dorian, you're going to be going back to F melodic minor. And that's all going to be over your, that whole thing's going to be over the B flat minor. And that's your F melodic minor scale. Now, he's doing this enclosure over the C. And then he kicks into the, now he's playing over the D flat 7 where we're playing the, and he keeps this lick going through both, so this is going over the D flat 7 chord, but here he's playing the 13, and then he keeps that going over, even over the C7, very strong rhythmic component to it, so that's why it works. And that would be the flat 7 and the sharp 5 over the C, over the D flat. That would be the 13, and that would be the 5. Okay, now if you're improvising over the A section, just like you heard this phrase here, you just play the F blues scale, minor pentatonic scale with a flat 5, and you throw it in there. So a great thing to do would be get familiar with that scale and all your different positions of the neck. Moving up the neck, learning the blues scale all over the neck. Here's your classic pentatonic shape. So if I just did a quick vamp and gave you an example, it sounds something like this. I'm just going to use the looper. I'm just going to play a quick vamp and then give you an example. So it's good to dwell on that F because that's the target note. That's the resolve point. So here's our flat 5. There it is. See, like I said, you don't want to dwell on it. You want to get in and out. Or use a chromatic line. So I recommend you learning the scale, all the different positions up the neck. The PDF will have the blues scale in all the different positions. Okay, soloing over the B section. Soloing over the B section, we essentially have a 2, 5, 1, minor 2, 5, 1. Then we're going to go B flat minor 9 or B flat minor 7 for 2 bars. Then we come back to the D flat 7 or D flat 9 to C7, C9. So if you knew your F minor scales, you're going to be pretty good. You'll be able to get through that whole thing. A couple of great strategies would be to try and at least target the root notes of the chords as they're moving by. In other words, targeting the G, targeting the C, targeting the F, targeting the B flat, targeting the D flat to the C. And that'll sound something like this. Where's my F? There it is. Where's my B flat? Where's my D flat? Where's my C? I'm gonna do it one more time. There's my C, there's my 5. Here's my 1. Here's my B flat. There's my D flat to my C. So that works really well. So just being familiar with your F minor scales is going to go really far. When you get to that D flat, changing it up there, making sure you get to that note, that D flat. Okay, now that we understand how to target those root notes over an F minor, understanding that those are also resulting scales is really important. So playing an F minor scale but starting and ending on the G would give me my Locrian mode, which is just an F minor scale starting and ending on G. Then I go to my Phrygian mode, which would be C and ending on C, same scale. This is more of a minor mode. keep that in mind because we're going to make some changes. We're going to address that in a minute. Then we're back to where we started at our Ionian mode, our standard F minor. Then we go to the B flat, which is going to be our Dorian mode. Then we're going to go to our Lydian mode, which is going to be the D flat. And then we're going to go back to our Phrygian mode. So if I was to play over this, just give you an example, quick example, it would sound something like this. It would sound a little more scalar than what we did before. There's my C. Where's my F? Where's my B flat? Where's my D flat? Where's my C? So as you can tell, that has a lot more scalar sound, but it works really well. However, there's a couple of things we want to keep in mind. Over this 5 chord, this is a dominant chord, not a minor chord. And in this key, in the key of F minor, you would typically look at the C as being a minor chord, but it's 2/5, so this would be dominant. So in that case, you need to kind of look at this major third as being really important. And that's why you heard him on that one line when he came like this, when he hit minor third to major third, because that really is going to suggest that chord when you play the third. Now, using chord tones I find to be a really effective way to play through changes. I prefer the scales, as all the notes in there are really important. So the 2, G minor 7, flat 5. Here's my 1, minor 3, flat 5, flat 7. There's my 1. Then I'm going to go to my C7. I'm just going to start with C7. I'm not going to hit all the altered tones. First, just get the basic dominant down, which is 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1. Then I'm at my F minor 7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1. Flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1. Now I'm going to go to the B flat minor. That's going to go for 2. So that's going to be, here's my 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1. And then I'm going to go to my D flat, dominant chord again. Same formula as over the C. 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1. Back to my C. So I find the chord tones to be extremely effective because all the notes work. And I'll give you an example of that now. Here we go. I'm just going to play through all the chord tones. It's B flat. My D flat. C. I'll do the whole thing again. So as you can tell, that really outlines the chords well. So I highly recommend spending considerable amount of time getting down your chord tones. Now we're going to discuss a little bit about using the melodic minor scale, and you can hear Kenny Burrell use that a lot. Works really well, very colorful. We're going to change with the chords. So the first chord is the 2 chord, right? G minor 7 flat 5. So instead of looking at this as a Locrian scale, we're going to look at this as an Aeolian flat 5 scale. This is essentially a B flat melodic minor scale starting and ending on the 6. Works great. Sounds something like this. So here's my standard G minor scale, right? I flatten the 5. That's all I have to do. And then I have this really cool, exotic sounding melodic minor scale, B flat melodic minor. Okay, so then I would move to my that's my 2 chord. My 5 chord has all these alterations. So the 7th mode of the melodic minor scale would be my altered dominant mode, and that would be starting on C, but it would be a D flat melodic minor. So if I play through that scale, it'll sound like this. Here I'm playing my 1. There's my flat 9, my flat 2. There's my sharp 9. There's my major third. There's my flat 5, sharp 5, flat 7, and then there's my 1. So as you can see, it has all your altered tones. So that's going to work great for the 2 chord. So right now I have my Aeolian flat 5, my altered dominant chord here, and then I'm back to where I started. And that's going to sound a lot more exotic. It's going to sound really cool. Altered dominant, back to my F minor. Now my regular Dorian. Now I'm going to change the key. I'm going to go to my D flat. Use the arpeggios for those. I'm going to try it down here now. Altered dominant, back to my F minor, Dorian, use chord tones for D flat and C. So as you can tell, that this was super colorful using this scale, and then right after using this scale, going to my C altered dominant, because you're going to see this all the time. 2, 5, 1 happens all the time. So that's a really colorful way to approach playing those changes. And you could hear, you know, Kenny used the melodic minor scale. Yeah, I used the F melodic minor scale. Okay, in addition to playing, you know, chord tones and the melodic minor scales, and the pentatonic scales obviously work great, is throwing in chromatic lines. Experimenting with different chromatic ideas. And as long as you have a destination, and when you're playing you kind of have a goal to go to a certain interval of a certain chord, having that kind of motion is really helpful. So don't be afraid to use the notes that are not in the scales or arpeggios. It gives you a lot more color. Just playing through. So there, I was playing a combination of chromatic lines and pentatonic scales. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thanks so much for all your support. Really appreciate it. And that's about it. All right. Hope everyone has a great day.